Hello and welcome to the October edition of the Kushmerek Connection. Today we are filming from FATV Studios in downtown Fitchburg. As always, we want to thank their incredible team for hosting us here and for all of the work that they do in our community, bringing local access and a local flavor to television stations near you. Joining me today, we have Don Aker from Finicky Fork Catering and Pauper's Pantry. Don, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. So you were just telling me this has been 5 years of catering and working in our community and bringing just high quality food to events and to our downtown. Tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry and what made you want to launch into this profession.
Nice. Well, I always say I was born with a potato peeler in my hand, so I was born into the industry. My dad, when I was little, had owned a catering business, just like as a little side hustle or whatnot. So I was peeling potatoes since I can always, as far back as I can remember, and he had operated a diner, and it was just something that, even from being a little girl, I just really loved being in a kitchen. And I just ended up spending my entire life, starting off as a server, going into bartending, then going into management. I was in management in my very early 20s. And learning every single aspect of the industry, from diners to fine dining. I just really immersed myself in the culture of culinary arts.
You've seen it all.
Yeah. I really have seen it all. So, and then as far as opening my own business, it's funny because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you're living your dream," and it really wasn't ever my dream to own my own catering business or restaurant. I've always enjoyed just working in the industry. But about 5 years ago, maybe 5.5 years ago, my daughter had stopped by the house to announce to me and my husband that we were becoming grandparents. And then 5 weeks later, my son stopped by the house to announce that we were going to be grandparents. So I was getting two.
A double surprise.
Yeah, I was becoming a meme to two beautiful children.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and because I've been in this industry, it's a very demanding industry, and I had worked for corporate for a really long time, and a 70-hour work week is nothing new to me. Right. And I had spent a majority of my career traveling as well, and I was just I think it's time to maybe step out of the corporate realm, and I'm gonna just open a small little catering business in my hometown, and maybe do a couple baby showers and a birthday party a month. If I had actually done the math on it, and I was like, well, I can replace my income with just 5 events a month. So yeah. I'm just gonna open a small little business, side hustle, and be a full-time meme, And
that's how it starts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it starts. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I went to Newview, and I met with Ray Belander, and we came up with a business plan. It was very modest, and year one we quadrupled that, at least quadrupled that.
Incredible.
Yeah, so, and that was year one. So
you hit that immediate traction in the community.
Immediately. I didn't realize what a demand there was going to be for that. For the style of catering that we do. I did know in a way that it's what I do and it's what I love, and I put a lot of care, love, and attention into every detail. So I knew that we would be successful at some, but I just didn't realize how high of a demand we were going to experience. So.
I remember the first time, within the first couple of months of you launching, I remember being at an event that you had catered and thinking, I haven't had catering like this in this region before,
right.
It just really it opened my eyes to, oh wow, this is fantastic. I hope I can eat this kind of every day, and then soon enough it felt like I was every day going to a different event that you were catering. And what was that like? Both, I'm sure you had higher staff, and just it went from just you to having to onboard new people.
Yeah, so it was just like, so initially it was just me and one other person, and again, we were just going to do a couple events here and there. One of our first events was for actually the City of Fitchburg Board of Health, which I was like, all right, this is fantastic, you know. So we were able to get into City Hall and touch a lot of people right off the bat, which was fantastic. And pretty quickly, I recognized that that we were going to kind of take off a little bit. And I reached out. So when you're in this industry, you touch a lot of people and you have a lot of contacts, right? Because like one, it's a very social a field that you're in, so you know a lot of people. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in my career, so I had a lot of people I don't want to say in my pocket, but I had a lot of people I could reach out to that have worked with me in the past and like understand me, because I'm not the most understandable person. When you have the standards that I have, it takes a unique person that can actually even work with me. So I needed to reach out to those people that knew what my standard was and were willing to onboard and try this new venture, and that's terrifying for them. I was somehow able to convince quite a few people that had very stable careers to just put everything on the table and risk it for this. Yeah, like, are you ready to, you know, like, but I'm a very ethical person, and they know me, you know, like they know me and were willing to take that risk with me. So, so today I've been able to grow a pretty substantial team. You know, I went from two of us to now I have like 25 almost full-time people. Some are full-time, some are not, and then I have like 25 per diem, so I have like 50 people on my staff in 5 years.
That's incredible.
I know.
That's
I don't even know what's going on, Mike. I don't even know what's going on.
Well, and I think everybody in their head, when they're cooking in their kitchen and then they taste their food, you know, if they taste their food and enjoy it, they think, I could do this. I should open up a restaurant. And then you actually think it through. And you're
right.
like, I don't think I want to do that at all.
Yeah.
So my wife is always, you know, Chris is always like, you should consider doing this. And I'm like, I enjoy cooking.
Right.
That looks, you know,
right.
What's needed in order to open a restaurant, staff it,
right.
the hours that you put in. I don't think anybody, you know, when they're enjoying the food, really, unless they've worked in the industry, really recognizes just the work that goes into it and the hours that are necessary.
Yeah, there's a lot of hours, a lot of hours.
But it seems like you're still enjoying it.
So I'm super passionate about it, obviously. Like, I think people can tell that I'm super, super, super passionate. And I would never be able to, if I was doing something I didn't enjoy, I would never be able to keep this pace. So I'm not, you know, I'm not a spring chicken, you know. So, but I easily clock 100 hours a week, because it's not only, especially with the expansion of Pauper's Pantry. So I'm currently on the line, like, you know, doing the physical cooking for Pauper's Pantry. So that's 60 hours right there. And then on top of that, we also have like the whole other business of Finicky Fork Catering.
Sure.
And we're a custom catering company, so it's very difficult to have someone be your event coordinator when, you know, this is a whole lifetime of experience. So when I can book 7 or 8 events in a day, that takes a lifetime of experience to know exactly how long everything takes to cook, the talent of your team, all that. So
it's not just a cookie cutter approach either.
No.
You tailor your
Right.
menu and the offerings to the event and the
Right.
and the constituency.
Right. Yeah. So there's programs out there like, oh, Easy Caterer and these things that'll automate. We're not an automated type service. We're very, very finicky, I guess is what you would say. And it does require that attention. I'll meet with a bride sometimes 6, 7, 8 times, 84 emails back and forth, you know, with the bride, you know. So just to make sure that we're making her, you know, her grandfather's salmon recipe exactly how he used to make
Sure.
it. So we've done that in the past. So.
Well, and so you decided to launch Pauper's Pantry on Main Street in Fitchburg, and what went into that decision to say, all right, I'm already working 70, 80 hours a week catering, and you know what I should do is open a restaurant.
I know.
What was involved in making that decision? And please know how happy I am, because this is so enjoy the food there and going there.
So regarding Pauper's Pantry, one, no one tried to talk me out of it, not even my husband. So I've had a few chefs on the line there talking to this wonderful staff that I have, this team that we've created that have known me for multiple years, saying, not one of you tried to talk me out of this. what's going on? So really how the Pauper's Pantry transpired is, one, is that there was a community demand for it. I can't tell you how many times people came up to me and were like, we just wish that we could have you, you know, like whenever we wanted versus having to wait for an event, you know, and I was like, that's, you know, kind of is like, all right, that's kind of cool. Like people will come, like if we build, they'll come, you know, so that's cool. But I had, you know, I drive Main Street multiple times during the day, and I had saw that the City Hall Diner, you know, it's been closed for 13 years.
That's right.
And I was like, what are they doing with that building? So I actually went to, Councilor Van Haziga had showed up at one of my events, and I said to him, Andy, can you take a look into City Hall Diner and see what's going on over there? Just because, like, you know, it's been empty for so long. So he reached back out to me like within a day or two, and he said that, you know, the university owns that building now. There's some plans for a theater expansion, but there's a lot going into it. I don't think it's really available. And I was like, okay, thanks for looking into it. And that was the end of the conversation. And then 6 months later, I got a call from the university, and they were like, hey, Dawn, we were wondering if you would like to go meet with the president and take a tour of City Hall Diner. And so obviously, like, I'm an opportunist, and I believe if things come to you, there's a reason why things come to you, and you might as well explore it. And I think that's why I'm in the trouble I am right now with 120 hours a week. I'm like, well, if it came to me, you know, like, the powers that be must think I'm capable of pulling this off, you know? So, yeah, so.
And so you've been open a couple of months now at this point, right?
Yeah, just about 2 months.
Every time I've been in, it's been slammed for lunch in a great way. Just seeing a Main Street business just absolutely bustling, and you know, every table full. It's so from my perspective, it looks like it's going incredibly well. How's it going?
It's going incredibly well. Yeah. So it has been going incredibly well. I still wasn't quite sure of, even up until like almost opening, exactly what type, you know, what kind of hours we wanted to have, what type of concept we wanted to have. And I really just kind of like let my heart guide me from every piece of decor, from the chairs to what's on the walls to the menu. Those were all just details that kind of just were, I was like, okay, like I think this is it. And I wanted to make sure it was very nerve-wracking. We didn't tell anyone what day we were opening until the night before at 8 o'clock, because I was terrified. It was 8 o'clock the night before we were opening, and I said to my daughter, okay, go ahead, you can post it on Facebook now that we're opening tomorrow, because I was really, really nervous. We have built up such a solid reputation as Finicky for catering. I know that oftentimes when a new business will open, you know, people are like, oh, give them a few months, they have to work out the kinks, and I really didn't want to have any kinks, you know, because we had built up that reputation that we weren't going to have any kinks, you know. So, but we have, obviously, there's some learning curves, and we're only human, you know. So obviously there's some, but we have a very.
But you wouldn't know. I mean, just to see the reaction from your customers and those who've been in, whether it's for the first time or the 20th time since you've opened, just so exciting to see the reception from the community. People are talking about it constantly. They're disappointed when you're closed, and it's just adding to what has really become this bustling downtown full of different culinary options that complement each other just so well. And so I couldn't be more happy that you've launched the physical plant on Main Street, but that the rest of the business is still going and thriving. So, you know, Dawn, just thank you so much for making the investment that you have, and look forward to enjoying the next meal and going to my next event catered by Finicky.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Folks, stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have the owner of Rise and Grind Cafe. Stay tuned.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, Mike. Okay. Good luck.
Alex, remind last
the
name
impact
is
of a
Schinas?
meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
So we're back, and joining me now in studio is Alex Schinas from Rise and Grind, right on Main Street as well. So two brand new businesses to our downtown, two businesses that have just been really the talk of the town and the talk of the region. My residents from Lunenburg as well have often commented, like, I find myself in downtown Fitchburg all the time now. There's something special happening here. So excited to see that synergy of not just, this isn't just about downtown Fitchburg and Fitchburg residents. This is about really North Central and having a real moment here, both in the culinary space as well as good coffee. And it's something that's been so sorely needed, and thrilled that you're bringing good coffee and smoothies and food to downtown Fitchburg.
Yeah, I mean, when we were building the spot, we were looking for places to get coffee, and we'd have to go to Lunenburg, or for lunch, and we'd have to go down to the mill, or drive around, all the way around Main Street to find lunch. So we knew we would be needed right away. So that was a good calculation on our part, I think.
And so this isn't your first location either, right? You've had a location in Leominster.
We do. It's smoothies only. It has some coffee offerings.
Sure.
That one's adjacent to Empire Athletics Gym. And so we have a whole supplement store, and we cater to the fitness community there, although we're open to the public. So.
And I was just going to say, so you have a different maybe take on, on coffee and the coffee scene. It seems like you've really cultivated maybe a slightly different vibe from what others might think.
Our smoothies with coffee are unique. To be honest, I didn't have a whole lot of coffee experience prior to doing this, but I have a good friend of mine who's in the coffee business, and a couple of friends who came out and gave us their time and helped us learn. And we're perfectionists, so we wanted to have the best coffee we could have. So yeah, but it's a unique take to a degree. We have coffee smoothies. We've got a lot of infused drinks with different products together. But then we have the basic coffee offerings, the cappuccinos, lattes, espressos, and we think we do a very good job with those.
Yeah, you do. I'm a sucker for your dark roast, and
Sumatra's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's
they're all local roasters as well.
Really?
So Essex is they do Sumatra. They're now they're in, I think, Rhode Island, but they were in Essex, Mass. Initially.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Everything we do is we try to have locally sourced.
That's amazing too, to really tap into that ecosystem.
Yeah.
So what made you really look to not only open the restaurant, the physical location on Main Street in Fitchburg, but what made you feel like this is the right time, this is the right place?
Opportunity.
Sure.
Mark and I founded a print and branding business 5 years ago, and Rise and Grind just kind of sprouted out of opportunity post-COVID with friends of ours. And then when this opportunity opened to us from the landlords, they came and they liked what we were doing in Leominster. And they said they had this building on Main Street. We went and saw it, and it was just a beautiful space. The light was gorgeous, the spot's perfect. And I had made a promise to my mother when I was 15 or so that I would never be a restaurateur because my father was and his family was, and it's stressful. So I broke that promise, but it was just an opportunity that came up, and I've got a good team of people who are professional and had experience in multiple areas that allowed us to open quickly. I'll be honest, it's not my expertise. It's just good people around me.
Well, and it was remarkable to see, from the day you went from the soft opening to the hard opening, just the outpouring of community support.
It was overwhelming initially. We built the kitchen based on a guess of how it would work, and there's several things we would change now. But the support was so much that we were worried that we couldn't handle it with our current space. But we've gotten much better at doing the job on a daily basis, and we can handle the flow now. So, but yeah, it's been busy since the start. Yeah,
no, it's been fantastic to see. And you and I were talking earlier about, I think there's been a need and a demand for better culinary experiences in Fitchburg, or just more options, right? Instead of it's always just the 1, 2, or 3 same places that everybody went to and talked about, but was also looking for more.
I never came to Fitchburg for food.
Yeah.
And now there's Dario's. I haven't been to Pauper's Pantry, but I intend to go probably this week. we go to tacos and tequila all the time. We went there Friday night. And so prior to that, I just never really thought, we did like Kingston, they're gone, unfortunately. We did like the food there. But we'd always go to Leominster, and we have the spot in Leominster, and it was easy. But I really want to see this whole street be full of, great options and spend time here, because I see it like, it's a perfect downtown street. It's like other towns are in squares and they're kind of disjointed. This is just a row. It's perfect. It's like Hudson to a degree.
Pull up,
and you see what they do there
and walk down the street.
Absolutely,
and that's got your full range of options.
You want to have some breakfast and lunch. You want to have some dinner. You want to have some of everything. So, the more good businesses that come here, the better.
Yeah, from breakfast to bar, downtown Fitchburg now has it all, right?
It does, yeah, and it's getting better and better.
And I think for the longest time, it was a real struggle for people that would make the big investment. They take the leap, and then you need to know that the community is going to have your back when you come in and you make that investment, whether you're from here or coming here.
Well, you never quite know.
Right, that's it.
Yeah,
and so I was so touched when I saw the line out the door on your first day of thinking, all right, I think Fitchburg has it now, and North Central has it. Of if we want things when they open, we need to come out and we need to show that support, and not just once.
It's a two-way street.
Exactly.
I mean, you definitely have to patron the businesses that open, but we've got to do a good job at staying fresh and new. Quality has to stay high. The service has to stay exceptional, and that's not easy to do. So, staffing, like you were talking with, I forget her name.
Dawn.
Yeah. You were talking about staffing, and we also went from 3 to 25 people in the last few years. And that's not the easiest thing to maintain and manage.
Right now, this is, you're really in an industry kind of facing a staffing crisis, and yet you both have seen remarkable success in bringing new people in and training
retention. It's training and it's management. It's good management techniques, but the credit goes to the community, because you can make a coffee at home, you can make an avocado toast at home, you can do all of that at home, and people choose to come out, and we have a lot of people that come almost every day, and that's crucial. Running a business is costly, and like you said, taking the leap of faith, it's exactly that. You make a significant commitment to it, and I think this one was pretty much a slam dunk that we knew we would do okay. We knew we weren't going to just flail and fall apart, even though we had very little experience in full restauranting. But it's a perfect opportunity of space, of where it is, and there's not a lot of options currently, so it's building the street up.
Well, it's great to see too. Not only is your location right across from City Hall, and you see employees coming over, but you're seeing people drive in from all over, and then spend time. And I think not only are they coming to expect a high level of consistency of delicious food and drink, but then you're keeping them here, and people are walking around and discovering different new parts of Fitchburg, and new businesses are now coming in. The gallery just opened right down the street from you, Dr. Babineau's memorabilia gallery, and he said that was a huge part of it too. And he was like, people are coming in, there's foot traffic, there's vehicle traffic, they're coming in, they want to get a coffee or a smoothie next door, and they're going to see and that's how you start to hit that concentration and density of businesses. Really,
it's bringing people here as a draw.
Absolutely.
For multiple things to do. You don't want to be the only person on the street.
That's right.
People ask me, oh, there's other cafes opening. Are you worried about that? And I was like, no, that's fantastic. That means when you wake up in the morning, you're going to go, let's go to Fitchburg. There's somewhere that we could eat.
Just becomes
There's
muscle
just more
memory.
people.
Right.
Yeah. So it makes all the sense in the world.
And particularly with the length of our downtown too.
Yeah,
right?
It's big. Yeah. It's a nice long drag. There's room for more. So if you're looking at developing, get in.
I'm thrilled to hear you say that. You're saying that you're looking to add more to the menu too. So it sounds like you're constantly looking to perfect and to tweak and to introduce new things. Tell us what's on the docket.
All right. So we've specific menu items.
Sure. All right. Let's dive in.
Yeah. I mean, multiple people know what we have already. We are adding acai bowls. They'll be fresh probably next week, and We'll have a buffalo chicken sandwich with a brioche bun, Monte Cristo sandwich. I think we have some breakfast wraps coming. We've got a few new pastries. We may dabble in some pies, not really sure. We've got a number of new drinks that are on the menu for fall, pumpkin-related everything.
So important this time of year, right?
We sell so much pumpkin stuff. And it's funny because I'm like, I'm not really into pumpkin, and then the first day you put it on the menu, it's like everybody's pumpkin.
I'm a total sucker for pumpkin.
Just
like
straight pumpkin.
You give me pumpkin anything from
Pumpkin cold
August
foam.
through like December, that's what I'm going to have.
I can't buy enough stuff for cold foam. I have to I run to the supermarket 3 times a day to get cold foam. So
and when I used to talk to property developers who did large-scale commercial, they'd say, well, people in Fitchburg they're not going to spend a lot of money on a good cup of coffee, or they don't want a nitro cold brew, or and I kept hearing that and thinking, really? I'm pretty sure they do, because I see them driving 3-4 towns over, sometimes in line at a Starbucks for 45 minutes.
Well, that's just it.
You built it, and they have come and they've shown that no, not only does Fitchburg have that appetite and North Central have this appetite, but
I don't know if there's I think there's a lot of people who, like you said, they shop elsewhere, they have shopped elsewhere, that are looking for premium products. But I know I go through about 4 or 5, maybe 6 tanks of nitro a week. And that's just on top of the regular coffee offerings. We do hundreds and hundreds of pounds of coffee a week. We're not the cheapest option out there. I don't think we're the most expensive either, but I think we're up towards the top. And nobody seems to really, complain about price. I think people want quality, and if you're off quality-wise, they'll let you know.
That's right.
But I haven't had a whole lot. Haven't had anybody really just say to us, like, I've had multiple people say you're very the price is agreeable.
Right.
You're not too high. But I haven't had anybody say, "Oh, this is incredible. I can't pay that." Maybe they wouldn't tell me. I don't know. But I think that's we land in a range that's to be expected.
And you don't want to be Dunkin' Donuts or Cumberland Farms.
I couldn't do it.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
No,
it's not built on that just cranking people in and out. It's about producing that high quality and
that's
doing
just it. If you walk into our space, you see that it's somewhere that you're welcome to sit and talk to other people. We see so many people come in from the town that just start talking to each other and cultivating relationships. They're meeting there. They're having all sorts of. You're not doing that at Dunkin' Donuts. You're not even doing it at Starbucks anymore. There's not a whole lot of forums for it.
I've been thrilled to be able to bring in, whether it's other state representatives coming in to meet with me, or members of the governor's cabinet, or just meeting with a resident who has a constituent issue. I was like, you're always welcome in my office, but how about I buy you a cup of coffee down the street? Let's just sit down and chat. And
we are adding seats as well.
And but it's a welcoming environment too. It's a comfortable environment. Just been such a welcome and wonderful addition to our downtown. I'm excited for your business to continue to grow and welcome new customers. And so if you're tuning in and you haven't been to Rise and Grind yet, or you haven't been to Pauper's Pantry, take a drive down, have a cup of coffee morning, stick around for lunch, and go to Pauper's Pantry. I think you're going to be really surprised and pleasantly enjoy, not only a stroll downtown, but enjoy all of the flavors and options that are now emerging in our downtown. So, Alex, just want to, again, thank you for everything that you and your business partners have done with Rise and Grind.
Thanks to Fitchburg for having us.
Thanks for coming on the show. Folks, thanks as always for tuning in. Come back and join us for the November edition, where we'll have where we have Worcester County Sheriff Lou Evangelitis joining us. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.